Everton's 21-22 Premier League season is one fans will never forget.
I can't believe what I've just watched there, what I've just witnessed at Goodison Park.
For the first time in a generation, Everton were threatened with relegation. With sackings in the manager department and at boardroom level, the club was split, but ended in unity. Welcome to Toffee TV. Carlo Ancelotti has left his role as manager of Everton Football Club to join Real Madrid. With Everton fans hoping for a peaceful summer, the season had barely finished when Carlo Ancelotti announced the devastating news that he was moving to Real Madrid and leaving Everton once again without a manager.
My first thoughts when Carlo left was, not again. We've been had off again. The famous line, like I wouldn't leave Everton and all that. And then the second Real Madrid rang, I don't think anyone can kind of blame him. Real Madrid is such a prestigious club.
My thoughts when Carlo Ancelotti left Everton, shocked at the time. I didn't really see it coming. I know he'd spoke about going into next season with a transfer window and needing better players, but I suppose the huge club that Real Madrid are, it was hard for him to turn down at a time in his career where it was probably his last ever chance of a big club as well. So
I mean, I've got nothing against him. I'd go to Real Madrid, so I don't blame him one bit. You know, are you going to sit in Crosby or are you going to go to Madrid?
It was a shock because everything he'd spoke about was positive about living on Merseyside and wanting to move Everton forward. But I guess when you look at it, Everton had stumbled to a 10th place finish and then Real Madrid come calling. It's not really that difficult a decision. So it was a shock and it was very disappointing. But when you look at everything around it, it was obviously an easy decision for him.
It almost just was like disbelief that he'd left the football club. It was like, well, what now? Because, you know, the thought behind Carlo Ancelotti was that there was a plan. He was going to stay here for a number of years. He was going to lead us into the new stadium. And all of a sudden, you know, what felt like a 24-hour period, we'd gone from having all of that to not having it, and it was just a shock.
Initially, at the time, I was shocked more than anything else. I remember the kind of reports coming through from Spain on the day, and I remember us talking about it in work. We were still working from home at the time, all messaging each other saying, "Oh, this is nonsense. There's no way that this is true." And then, you know, as it quickly transpired throughout the next couple of hours or so, it was in fact quite true, and it hurt, didn't it? Yeah, it did hurt in a way because, you know, it did feel like Carlo had built up some sort of a connection with Evertonians. I mean, obviously in very difficult circumstances with the fact of the pandemic and everything. You know, obviously a lot of his games were played behind closed doors, but I think he managed to bridge that gap quite well.
After a month of rumours, Farhad Moshiri made the controversial decision to appoint Rafa Benitez as the new Everton manager, causing a split in the fan base.
Welcome to Toffee TV. We've got the breaking news that Rafa Benitez has been appointed Everton manager. He has signed a 3-year deal.
I think it's one of the biggest mistakes as an appointment for Everton Football Club. He was never going to be the right man for the job, but I did get behind him to begin with because it's the team first and the fans first, if you like, and we're always around, managers come and go. It
was a very, very strange day seeing him holding the Everton scarf up and standing at Finch Farm with all the board of directors, and the rest is history after that, really.
Obviously, you're upset. A lot of fans were just like, well, we'll see what happens. But I don't think many people, you know, settled into it. They just sort of went, well, here we are, let's just get on with it. Everton have been in disarray for the last 2 or 3 years in terms of managers coming in and out, and yeah, it was a hard one to swallow for a lot of people, but I think a lot of people just thought, right, well, let's just see what happens and let's just get on with it.
I do think Rafa is a nice person in his sort of day life, if you like, but never ever the right manager for Everton Football Club.
When Rafa was appointed, I was devastated, but I just tried to believe in the process of his coaching philosophy and how he had a good run with Liverpool. Let's just have it right. He'd done well with the players that he had, so I thought that we was going to get a little bit of that. However, he was just an absolute agent undercover and just wrote us off, really.
Rafa Benitez got off to an absolutely fantastic start with wins against Southampton, Brighton and Burnley, and a draw against Leeds, but it didn't last.
Yeah, so we had a decent start to the season. Obviously, first day of the season against Southampton. Made a terrible start, actually. Southampton took the lead in the game, and then we managed to claw it back second half. And then we went into a lot of confidence going into the Leeds game, and we really probably should have won that Leeds game. Dom has a chance just to dink it over the goalkeeper, and we go on and win it. And then obviously Brighton away, and winning at Brighton away, it was a great win as well. So at the start of the season, there was a lot of hope, and he had us hard to beat, and we were scoring goals and we were creating more chances than we were under Carlo at the time. So
it wasn't a decent start. It was just teams I expected to beat and that every Everton fan would expect to beat. I expect to beat Southampton at home. I expected to beat Leeds away, and we never done that. I expect us to beat Brighton away. I expect us to beat Burnley at home. You know, so it wasn't a decent start. It was an expected start.
Everton suffered a huge blow when Dominic Calvert-Lewin was injured and ruled out for a few months. Defeats started to occur, including a crushing 5-2 home defeat by Watford, and continued through to a hammering in the Merseyside derby.
Fucking disgrace, that! Fucking disgrace! Fucking disgrace! Get away! Fuck off! Fucking disgrace! Fuck off! Fuck off!
I can't believe what I've just watched there, what I've just witnessed at Goodison Park. Unbelievable. Just collapsed by Everton today. I mean, didn't really start. We started out well. But to be fair, listen, number one, Watford wanted that game more than any Everton player on that pitch. Every Watford player ran through a brick wall for their manager and their fans today. And Everton just simply couldn't cope. It was just a disgrace. We just got a gang of absolute shitbags playing for us. That's all I can say from today's performance. An absolute gang of shitbags.
Sack the board! Sack the board! Sack the board! Sack the board!
What to say? I mean, like, never in a million years did I think there'd be a coach welcome at Goodison Park ever in my life.
The fans found a voice again, and I just remember sitting there with a little smile on my face thinking, I hate Chelsea, hate them. And I was just thinking, well, in Frankfurt.
I don't think anybody could have really expected just how massive that coach welcome was. I wasn't expecting, certainly when I got to the ground, you know, about an hour before the coach turned up, I wasn't expecting the amount of people that were going to be there.